All right. Well, I'm gonna go on ahead and we're gonna get started. And for the first person, we're gonna do intros. We're gonna do mono, so in that way everybody kind of gets an understanding of what's gonna happen, because mono's got a good idea of things, generally speaking. We begin our tale. It is currently 9 p.m. It is late, it's dark, and post-apocalyptic time. There's not a lot of sunlight to begin with. The desert sands just kind of flow along peacefully. Every now and again, you'll get a good wind. But as you get out of your cars and file into the building to start your first day, you all make yourselves welcome to your individual spaces. Mono,
Yeah.
where are you starting at?
I shall be in the office. I'll be logging on, preparing things, some filing, some paperwork.
Awesome. So Mono is going to go on ahead and hang out in the back office. So in the back office, Mono is simply just a desk, a cheap rolling chair that they could
Yes.
replace, but you know they won't. And a set of shelves behind you filled with books and manuals, a filing cabinet right next to one of the shelves, and another one behind the door, because when the door swings open, it swings into that filing cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
On the wall opposite of the desk, behind the filing cabinet, there is a wall-mounted AC unit. And
Oh,
everything
yes.
is illuminated by 3 sets of monitors, 2 of which being for the security cameras in the building. One security camera is also pointed inside of the main office, so you're able to see what's behind your back as well.
Mm-hmm.
The other monitor is for general use. Mana, if you would give us the name of your character and description, that'd be wonderful.
Okay. The name of my character is Moreau Anot, and he is brown-haired, 5'7", average-looking guy. He's got a uniform on, a badge that says Assistant Manager and Moreau Anot, but it's spelt wrong. It's not been changed since, and that's my character.
So, what are you gonna do real fast?
I am going to sort through the filing cabinet and look for any overdue paperwork.
Okay. So while you're going on ahead and doing that, I'm going to go on ahead and give an introduction to the man behind your wall, Benny, if you would.
Well, yeah, the name's Benny Flick. I am a 38-year-old mutant that kind of doesn't know where or what he's doing in life. You know, I'm a little jittery. I like to crack a joke every once in a while, so to speak. But the big thing that I'm here for is all the interesting garbage that shows up behind the can. I like trinkets. I like odds and ends, and it's the most efficient place to get something new every day because people don't get on to me. So I am like a 6'4", like my normal self, kind of gentle giant. My skin is a pale green, not because I'm sick, but just how the mutation treated me, and I'm a bald individual. I wear very tattered clothes. You could picture like a beat up, torn up flannel and a ratty jean jacket, and I smell like I haven't seen a bath in many moons, and that's kind of me.
Okay. And what are you up to right now, Benny?
Currently, I am waking up from my garbage snap to start my day. I haven't eaten in a while, so I am going to look through the trash can and see if I find anything interesting.
All right. Moving on, we're going to go on ahead and make our way into the back door here, where our stalker would usually take residence. So, stock clerk Xena, where are you at?
Hi, so I'm Gracie Barnes. I'm starting my shift off in the woman's bathroom, smoking a cigarette and trying to psych myself up for the night. So I'm a no-nonsense, level-headed clerk who works the late-night shift, of course, of 28. A mutant, though not incredibly mutant-looking in looks. I can pass pretty human-like. For her personality trait, she's practical and straightforward, and while she's competent at her job. She's not exactly a people person. She isn't interested in small talk or winning anyone over. She'd rather get to work and move on with her night. Yeah, that's kind of her.
All right. And what is Gracie? So Gracie's in the women's bathroom smoking, making herself up in the mirror.
Yep.
Go on ahead and act that out for me.
I just want to fucking go home.
So while we have Gracie in the women's bathroom just hyping herself up to get through the night, we're going to move on to our lovely Emily Lewis. Emily, where are you at?
Yeah, I am a cashier, so I am at the register counter waiting
Okay.
for customers. My character, I am a 31-year-old zombie. Pretty easygoing. Before she died, though, and became the undead, she had rainbow-colored hair, because that was her thing. Say, like, 5'7" average build. She's pretty well liked, just pretty easygoing, and can get along with just about anybody.
So you're just standing there behind the counter waiting for somebody to come in?
Yep.
Awesome. Let's move on here. So we're going to go on ahead and Mar, I'm going to have you walk into the building here. Can you go on ahead and give a brief description of who you are as Teresa?
So, my name is Teresa Goblet. I am a 26-year-old mutant, rabbit mutant. She's pretty anthropomorphic. Generally, her face and her legs specifically look and are of a rabbit. She's pretty chill, not very talkative, and pretty much tries to be practical as a person or mutant, if you will.
All right, so I'm going to go on ahead and move back over to Mono. Mono, what was it you were looking for?
Overdue paperwork that needs to be done.
Overdue pay work? Okay. Can you go on ahead and roll for sharp for me?
Yes. My sharp is a +2, so that's 9.
So as you're going through, you find a couple pieces of overdue paperwork, mostly overdue by about 5-6 years. They don't look terribly important, but they're definitely worth investigating.
I'll look into those.
So are you gonna sit back at your desk and look at them, or are you just gonna stand there and just...
I'll sit back at my desk and look at them.
So as you sit down and you look at those files, you see a couple of names on them that aren't pretty familiar to you. Obviously, since this is your first day here, it's just not, it's not going to be the most familiar thing. You could probably find a couple of odds and ends, maybe be able to find some old names on it. One of them does look to be actually a note that seemed to be torn out of a journal.
Let's have a read of this note.
Okay, give me just one moment here.
Should I read this out?
You're more than welcome to read it out loud. That'd be helpful.
It's hotter than hell in the storage room. We were able to get by for maybe a month with only of them working after the werewolf attack, but it looks like we fried it having it run all day and night. Day shift couldn't even be bothered to leave us a notice, let alone make a request on a new unit or two to HQ. I guess I have to do everything myself. Lesson learned. Never expect anything from day shift. They're so lazy, it's like they don't even exist most of the time. At least now though, we are going to have an additional member to our night shift. Kids transferring from days to nights. Good feels like sometimes there's more work around here than just the 4 of us can handle. And that's not including the chit-chat Ben gets up to around here either.
You managed to find a note. It looks pretty old, maybe about the same age as the dated documents that you found. The note's also signed Jefferson, which matches one of those pay stubs that are in those 5-year-old, 6-year-old files that you've pulled out. Looking at the pay stub, you can see that Ray Jefferson is the full name. You can also see that Ray Jefferson was making a pay amount of $300, and did in fact have life insurance that was being withdrawn on that by $50 each pay.
Ah.
The last date of this pay stub was about almost 6 years ago. Brandon, you had something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I was digging through the trash, trying to find a little bit of spare change, some food, anything that could be like considered generally valuable. I guess I'm gonna crack right up into that trash can and see what I can find.
All right, roll for sharp.
All right, let's see here. So I got a 3. I have dumpster diver as a trait where it's like +2 on sharp rolls, but I also have -2 on sharp rolls, so it's just gonna be a straight 3.
Okay. So you don't really find anything interesting. Just about everything looks like it's covered in some sort of weird slime, and it doesn't smell edible. It just feels, smells, and probably tastes gross.
Okay. Okay. Well, being as I'm very messy, I suppose I'm gonna go into the store and try to wash up. I'm gonna go try to go into the break area while no one's looking and take myself a shower.
And Zena, are you still in the bathroom hyping yourself?
No, I've finished my cigarette by now, so I'm gonna throw it on the ground, kick it out with my boot, and then walk out and head toward I guess the stock room to start my job.
Okay. So the stock room is just across from the bathroom. What is it that you're going to start doing in the stock room while Brandon's planning out his motion?
I think I'm going to pretend to read something on a bulletin board for a little bit.
In the back, you can see that there is a bullet board. Some of them have shipping and receiving notes that are tacked onto the cork board. And you could see basically what needs to be stocked, what day shift didn't stock, what they did stock, new orders that are coming in, things of that sort. So you're able to look at that and say, oh, hey, I'm going to go on ahead and get this done or do that. Brandon, how are you getting into the building?
I'm going to take that back entrance through. I'm gonna go straight around the corner of the shelving and down the hallway into the shower area.
So you walk inside the stock room and have Gracie standing between those two massive shelves that meet the door. So they are perpendicular to each other, but you just get a plain view of these massive industrial shelves that are just stocked full of boxed, unboxed items. And you can definitely see here through some gaps, you can see Gracie standing there looking at the wall. You're not sure
Mhm.
what she's looking at on the wall, but you can see that she's looking at the wall. Are you still going to proceed?
Yeah, I see that Gracie looks super interested in that bulletin board trying to kill time, so I'm going to walk through with the same demeanor as an employee and just kind of act like I work there.
Gracie, you hear the door open and close, and obviously you hear somebody walking around.
Hey Teresa, is that you?
I just continue
Yeah.
walking past. Don't answer.
Xena, what are you going to do to having no response, just hearing somebody continue to walk?
I will ignore it for about 10-15 seconds, and then I'll realize that nobody responded to me and turn around.
Are you going to look and like try and investigate? Because you are between these two shelves looking at the bulletin board that's right there.
I am going to bend and look through the shelf.
You bend and you look through the shelf and you see a set of legs in. Brandon, can you describe your pants?
I'm wearing a flannel, but I'm also just wearing some kind of dirty looking jeans, just like black jeans. Shoes wise, just some ruddy old Converse, kind of just a little muddy, dusty, seen some wear, but nothing out of the ordinary necessarily.
So you see the set of ratty old jeans hurriedly make their way around the corner and out the door.
I'm going to kind of peek around the corner as if I'm trying to like see if I can see anything. But then I'm gonna get disinterested and I'm gonna start looking through some of the boxes nearby to see if I can find any snacks.
See if you can find snacks. Okay. Go on ahead and roll for sharp. And while you're rolling for sharp, Kelso, you hear the stockroom door open and close behind you. Right to your left, you can see in the corner of your eye some motion, someone walking down the hall.
I think I'll kind of peek around a little bit to try to see who it is.
Go on ahead and roll for sharp.
+1, so it's 4.
You got a 4. Go on ahead and roll for cool, because all you see is this black mass just kind of hovering about, and it's a little weary because nobody's saying anything.
9.
So you managed to keep your cool. I mean, at first your heart started racing, but then you remembered it's probably just Gracie doing her job, or for all you know, it could very well just go on ahead and be the assistant manager coming out of the office and taking a gander and seeing what you're up to. So you're able to catch your breath and be like, we're all good. Everything is just fine. Now, we went on ahead and brought in our gas attendant, Teresa, just for a brief moment, so in that way she could put her things down and do what she needs to do.
I will probably walk out again to go to the gas pump.
So you just walked in, punched your card, walked out.
Yes.
Before you walk back out, the punch card is over by the register here. So obviously you're standing there with Emily, but you notice something in the corner of your eye moving. Do you want to investigate that?
Yes.
Okay, roll for sharp.
I got 6.
Black mass that's floating about. You don't know if it's one of your coworkers. You don't know if it's anything good. I mean, in fact, it's also kind of late. It's getting to be about 9:30. Yeah, you're only about 20-something minutes into your shift, but it's starting to feel a little uneasy. Roll for cool.
So it's 7.
You manage to keep somewhat calm. It's only the beginning of your shift. You're fine. It's probably Gracie walking, doing her job, or the assistant manager just peeking around the corner to see what you guys are up to. But end all be all, you're fine. I mean, it spooked you. You're a little on edge, but you're okay. You're just gonna go on ahead, punch your card, and go back outside to pump gas or do whatever you need doing. So, Benny, you managed to bypass 3 employees in one go. However, you also have to walk right past the assistant manager's door, and that door's open.
Yeah, I'm going to act as if I were a lost customer and casually walk past.
Mono, roll for sharp.
That is a 14.
Well, then you definitely notice somebody who is not one of your employees and is definitely not your average customer. Need to say, management did prepare you and tell you that, hey, you're going to get all sorts of people here, but this is not what they described, and in fact, you've seen this type of person before, and this person looks the part.
I'm just going to be like, excuse me? You're not supposed to be back here, and I'm going to get up off my desk and go face them.
So you guys are going to have your conversation, and roll fast before that conversation starts. Xena, what did you roll for your sharp for checking for sweets or treats?
10 plus 2, 12.
So amongst the boxes of all sorts of goodies, you managed to find something that's edible to humans, while a lot of it looked like deep-fried monkey brains, dehydrated fruits, really weird, slimy, gummy things that definitely were not made for humans by humans. In fact, you were able to find a couple packs of good old potato chips.
I'm gonna grab them and I'm gonna pop one open and start chewing on it.
All right, well, you enjoy your potato chips. So, Brandon, Mono, if you would, go on ahead and have your conversation.
Yeah. Excuse me,
Go ahead.
You're not supposed to be back here?
Oh, my apologies. I was looking for the bathroom, you see. I was told by one of the clerks up front that I was supposed to come back around the corner, so I guess I may have just gotten lost. Could you show me the bathroom, please?
Yeah, it's down this way, down this hallway.
Okay,
You went.
thank you.
There's no corner to turn. I'm sure the employees know where the bathroom is.
Well, I'm kind of bad at directions sometimes. I chronically have been told that I don't know my left from my right, so that is very much my apology. I will use the bathroom, make my eligible purchase, and leave your fine establishment, good sir.
Okay. Yeah, it's over there. I'll take you there since you don't seem to know your left from your right. And I'm
Very
just
good.
gonna go. I'm gonna go with him. Make sure he actually goes to the bathroom.
Also, you can see this odd exchange happening where some guy that's dressed in really tattered and nasty clothes and looks like he would have flies surrounding him is being escorted by your assistant manager out of the hallway that you just summed up. This has got to be somebody you work with. Just peeking out around the corner, be walked in from that narrow hallway, taken right around the corner, straight to the bathroom door.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is where the bathroom is. If you want to use that air freshener in there, you're more than welcome to. You kind of smell.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I proceed to go into the bathroom and give myself a nice little sink bath. Is there a window in said bathroom?
No.
Okay. What's the ceiling made out of in this bathroom? Is it one of those like push-up ceilings?
Yes, but it's very old, and it would definitely, if you tried to move it or break a hole in it, there would be nothing to it.
I guess I'm going to give myself a little horse bath. I'm gonna light up my special vape while I'm in there, take a few puffs, head out.
Brandon, you wash up, you get yourself as squeaky clean as your bare hands and a ample amount of hand soap from the bottle could provide, and then proceed to put your dirty,
Knock it
nasty
off.
clothes on.
I'm going to walk over to the shelving and start inspecting items, looking at the quality of things. I'll pick up an apple, kind of check to see if it's got anything on it.
I see. Kelso, how do you respond to seeing a patriot in your establishment?
Hi, sir. Is there anything I can help you with today?
No, thank you. I'm just kind of looking around.
Okay, well, just let me know if you need anything.
I appreciate you.
Since he looks a little sketchy, I'm gonna keep my eyes on him.
Okay.
Oh, profiling, I see. Gotcha.
So, Gracie, you're standing there munching on a bag of chips, and I would appreciate it if you'd roll for sharp real fast.
It's 6 and a 4 plus 2.
You realize pretty quickly when you look up from your bag of chips that you're at the perfect angle where you can see the back of the assistant manager in the hallway.
Fuck. All right. Well,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna shove both bags of chips back into that box, and I'm just gonna pick everything up and walk up out the door into the front of the store like I'm just gonna go stock something.
To everybody else, obviously, Gracie's just doing her job. She shuffles on past Mono. It's not the biggest hallway, and these are big boxes, so it's either move or be, kicked with the box, So, Mono, you're gonna have to shuffle out of the way, let Gracie on through to do her job. Now, Gracie, when you enter the front area, you notice there's somebody between the shelves, just casually looking around. Doesn't seem to be, doing anything.
I'm going to go to the row over next to him and not try to address him in any way and just set the box down and kind of crouch down like I'm stocking something on the lower shelf, and then I'm gonna pull out my cell phone and check a quick message.
So while you're doing that, we're gonna go on ahead and reach to our gas attendant here. So a cargo pulls up and into a gas pump. And Mara, when you walk on over here, you look in and you don't see anyone. But the car's running. You just watched it pull in.
I'll knock on the window maybe if it's closed.
Okay. So you knock on the window, and pretty quickly after you knock on it, the window rolls down. And you don't see anyone, but somebody says, "Hey, can you put $10 worth in?" And they slip you a $10 bill. Well, I should say, nothing slips you a $10 bill.
I guess I just go and give it the gas it needs.
Alright. You're just gonna go ahead and pump $10 worth of gas.
Yeah.
Awesome. While you're over there pumping gas, you notice that the back passenger door, right next to actually where you would insert the gas pump, pops open. And then it slams closed, but you don't see anyone get in or out.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Kelso, you notice while you're standing there, kind of keeping your eye on the sketchy looking dude and the perusing the shelves still, you notice that the door to the front slides open and closed with that very normal ding dong sound that you hear, and there's no one there.
I'm just gonna shrug it off because I don't see anything, and I'm still concerned about Benny Flick over there.
So by this point, Mar, you have filled $10 worth of gas into the pump. You went on ahead, you pocketed that $10 to put inside, once whoever this car leaves. What are you gonna do now that you've finished pumping gas and you still see nobody in the car?
Maybe I direct my attention to the driver and ask them about the person that left the passenger seat. Hello, sir, ma'am. Did someone leave to go to the shop?
Oh yeah, that was just Cecilia. She wanted a treat before we hit the road. She'll be back any minute now. Should I get out of this spot and pull into a parking spot, or?
I mean, if it's
What
not
do you-
very long, you can stay here if you want for a minute or two.
I don't think Cecilia will take that long. She's pretty quick about grabbing her road snacks. You know how kids are these days.
Yeah, that's fair. Have a nice evening, morning.
Oh yeah, you too. What was your name again?
Teresa.
Very nice to meet you, Teresa. You have a good rest of your day, okay? And the window
Thank you,
rolls
sir.
back up. The car just sits there, idling, as they wait for Cecilia to come back out. So you go ahead, you make your way in, and as the doors do, they slide open and a loud ding dong presents itself before sliding closed behind you.
Just look around a bit.
So go ahead and roll for sharp.
8.
So you notice the sound of crinkling bags. So obviously something is touching bags. They're not like crinkling them to where they're crushing the bags. It's just like somebody thumbing through them. You notice another associate, Gracie, knelt over in one of the aisles, but you don't know what all she's doing really because she's faced away from you. And then as you walk a little bit further in, you can see between two aisles, so two shelves, you can see this gentleman in tattered, ratty, nasty looking clothes, just fumbling about. He doesn't look like he's doing anything worthwhile, just looking. And then in front of you, you can see, obviously, Emily standing at the register, watching like a hawk, the man in tattered clothes. As well, you can see standing with arms crossed in the hallway, breaking the area between the stockroom wall and the bathrooms. You can see the assistant manager standing there.
I think I will walk up to Annie and
Okay.
ask them what are they watching.
Okay, go right on ahead.
Hello, Emily. Why are you looking at this gentleman?
Teresa, well, he was in the back, and I saw our manager escort him to the bathroom, and now he's out looking and, just in the shop, and I just want to keep an eye on him because I failed to do that earlier when he was in the back room.
That's fair enough, honestly. But here's the $10 for gas.
Okay, thank you. I'll get that in the register.
What are you gonna do now that you've handed that cash over to Emmy?
I will go to Gracie to see if they need any help. Hello, Gracie. What are you doing there?
Stocking things.
You need any help? Oh,
Nah, and honestly, it's pretty slow. I'm just trying to look busy. Do you need anything?
no, not really. I just saw you crouch down and I wanted to see what you're doing.
Mono, what are you doing?
Oh,
Okay, so quick disclaimer, I muted my mic at this point in the stream, so I don't know what I said. So from this point on, I'll do a voiceover and give you my best guess.
Mono, what are you doing?
course.
I would like to remind you do have access to security cameras.
Yep.
And also, where Benny is currently positioned is between the two shelves fumbling about, so your view of them is kind of skewed. So you can move closer if you wanted to. You can move to the register, you can go back to your office, whatever you'd like to do.
I want to go into the office and look at the CCTV.
Okay. Awesome. So when you go back into your office, you can see multiple windows on the two monitors that are attached to the wall. And each window is the shape of a square, roughly. Some are a little bit bigger, some are tinier. From each individual cameras, to include cameras outside at the gas pump, multiple directions. Is there a particular camera you want to look for?
Yes, I'd like to look at the one that Benny is in, please.
Okay, so there's a camera right over the register, and it can see barely above the shelves. When you're looking through the camera behind the register, you can get a full view of the back of Emmy's head, what is going on in the full entirety of the store.
Now you don't get the
Best
best view.
view of, like, Benny's hands or anything like that, but you can see a pretty good full overview of the store. There is a different position, which is on the opposite corner, right next to the refrigerator on the far wall, where Gracie and Teresa are chatting. There's also a third camera, but that one's pointed into a really auspicious looking room, and while you technically can see through the doors, you're not able to see the individual in question.
Okay, so I think I'm going to look at the CCTV for now.
Okay. Are you going to look at any particular window? Like,
I am going to make the window Benny's on bigger.
okay. Alright. So, I'm going to unpause Mar and Xena. Mar, you wanted to see what Gracie was up to. You wanted to know if you could help Gracie. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
I'm going to have to ask for both Gracie and Teresa to roll for tough.
So I got a 12.
So mine would be 6 total.
So there's this lighthearted giggle, and you guys just don't see it coming. Your steps just running and running and running, and then a body knocks into the pair of you, rolling around the corner, jumping over this box here. Teresa, you managed to stay planted, but Gracie, on the other hand, you took a good tumble, and in fact, you fell face first into that box, crushing a bunch of
Ooh.
chips and dropping your phone on the floor.
I sigh at my broken chips. I put my phone back in my pocket, and I kind of get up and like walk around the edge of the aisle just to kind of see if I can see what the fuck just happened.
Roll for sharp.
12.
Brandon, roll for tough.
7.
So, Brandon, you kind of like are standing there doing your thing. I mean, we all know what you're doing. You're trying to not be conspicuous by looking at things, which is only making you more conspicuous by all means. So you're just kind of fumbling through the chips, looking at crackers, comparing, contrasting. And next thing you know, you feel this tiny body slam into your back. You stumbled, and before you could into that shelf, you braced yourself, and you're like, what the fuck? Now, Xena, you witnessed all of this.
Are you okay? And also, what is going on? Is anyone there?
I am going to drop to the floor and be like, oh, my back, my neck, my back. I am calling the police.
Mono, you had your hand raised. Is there a reason?
Yeah, could I see what happened through the CCTV?
Yes, you could see from the blurry, really shitty zoomed out camera, suddenly the guy that you're watching is like knocked, like his arms are both like braced onto the shelf, holding onto the edge of it, but he doesn't knock it down or anything like that. And in fact, you also see one of your associates get plowed into a box before standing upright, being like, what the fuck was that? Looking around, and then she looks around the corner to see what's going on. Roll for sharp, Mono.
That is a 7.
You think possibly you can see pixels shifting in, like, away from where you just saw Benny and Gracie, you think you just saw pixels just ever so slightly shifting, but you don't know if it's just the shit camera or if it's resolution or because you're zoomed out. You don't know. It's not much of an alarm.
Okay, so I'm going to take my phone out and put it on video mode and start recording it, and then go out into the store.
So you're gonna hold your phone out like you're a Karen in a deli? Just.
Yes.
Kelso, go ahead and roll for sharp.
Sharp
And
and
Mar, you
Kelso.
go ahead and do the same.
So 9.
12?
Okay, so Kelso,
Damn.
you definitely saw something go down. The first thing that happened, you heard a bunch of chips, like the apocalypse of chips, all of them smashing and crumbling. It was just rather satisfying, but catastrophic to the business. And when you heard that, you were definitely all eyes on deck. And you saw what happened to Benny. You just saw him fall over for a minute, grab the shelf, and he's holding himself, looking around like what the fuck just happened. But at the same time, you can hear little shoes tapping like somebody's running around the store. Mar, you didn't quite catch what happened with Brandon, but you definitely heard the shelves shift and just that very slight sound of bags.
To go see on Gracie to see if they're okay.
Okay, you can go ahead and have that conversation.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what happened. Something smacked into me and I fell over and smashed everything in that box. So I'm gonna have to go throw that away and listen to our assistant manager bitch at me about it. And then also I walked over here to see what the fuck just happened, and whatever ran into me also ran into this guy, but it's like invisible. There's nothing there, and I sound absolutely insane right now, but there's nothing there, and it's just running around.
I think that might be the little girl from the car I just put the gas in.
What do you mean?
I just pumped gas to a car that pulled up on the gas pump and it was like literally empty, but apparently there's like invisible people, and that's, I think her name is Cecilia, a little kid from the car.
Okay, well, I should probably go tell the manager what happened because I'm gonna have to go throw this box away, so he's gonna need an explanation.
Brandon, roll for sharp.
Okay, -2 is 8.
So you were more focused on what the fuck happened, kind of looking around to see like what knocked you over, because you felt something knock into you. But your ears just slightly perked up when you heard, "I'm gonna have to throw this whole box away."
I'll tell you what, for this misunderstanding, I will get out of your hair. Let me throw that in the trash for you, and we'll let the bygones be bygones. My back will heal. We don't gotta sue. I'll just take that off your hands.
I don't know. I feel like our manager's gonna want to know about this.
Oh yeah, he can take it. We don't want to get
There we
sued.
go.
All right. Deal is a
I
deal.
don't want to get
No.
sued.
Throw in a cheap malt beverage of the adult variety, and then we're good.
Brandon, go on ahead and add a box of crushed chips to your inventory. Also, you see all of this go down.
I'm still just gonna hang out at the register because
Okay.
it's a register. Someone has to watch it.
Mono and Kelso to roll for sharp.
13.
I got 6.
Mono, as you're looking at those two and you're holding your phone up, you're holding up to your chest, I assume. You're just kind of like making everybody uncomfortable. You kind of notice that there was a third body on the camera that wasn't there off the camera before it ducked behind a shelf and hid. But you can still see that body, the highlight, not the highlight, but the shadow of it sitting in almost a heap behind the shelf, kind of like they're hiding.
I'm going to walk up to it with my phone out and try and see what it is.
So you walk up to it, and on the camera you notice it's just a little girl. She looks very terrified and very upset. It was a misunderstanding.
Okay, so I'm going to go up to her and be like, Are you okay?
Yeah.
Were you looking to buy something?
Yeah.
What were you looking to buy?
Road trip snacks.
Why don't you let me help you with that?
Okay. So the little girl stands up and she reaches her hand out to hold yours.
I take it.
Everybody roll for sharp.
11.
9.
9.
8.
8.
11.
Let's go!
Everybody else is looking at their assistant manager like he's a nut job because you just see his arm kind of at this, not a weird angle, but it's not a resting angle, you know? He's just kind of has his arm out to the side. It looks like he's holding something in his hand very delicately and loosely, but you don't see anything that he's holding. Not to mention, he's holding his phone out in front of his chest like a Karen at a sandwich shop demanding to see your manager.
I'm gonna turn to Teresa and be like, what the fuck is his problem?
I'm gonna look the same way, honestly.
I'm just gonna hang out at the register and awkwardly smile and be like, okay, this is what we're doing.
I'm going to step outside and go hang out by the gas pump since no one's over there.
Okay.
Are you gonna
Brandon,
take your
roll for
box
sharp.
with you?
It's
Yeah, I
in
mean,
his
I'm going to carry
inventory.
my box out. It's in my inventory. Roll for sharp. Okay. I got a 2.
So you notice out there, you're kind of hurried, but like there's nothing really, of any necessity to you. Are you standing at the pumps under the hood, or are you standing like in the parking lot itself?
I'm standing next to the pumps, like almost
Standing right next to the
as if I were the attendant.
So you notice
That's all.
absolutely nothing, and obviously you got those boxes in hand. What are you gonna go ahead and do?
I'm gonna go back behind the store and start digging for gold again, and the other dumpster.
So you walk out front like a normal customer carrying your box of goodies, none the wiser of anything going on around you because you're very happy about these chips. And you're just gonna go outside to the dumpster where you camp out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go start digging, see if I can find myself a nice beverage to go with these chips.
Okay. Roll for sharp to find a nice beverage. Mono, while that's going on, I'm going to have you substitute and roll for weird.
That is a 5.
I got an 11.
You managed to find a manner of things. There is a abandoned jug, like not a jug, but those massive canisters that you use to fill the soda machines. And it looks like one of them was thrown away. And in fact, it still has plenty of soda in it. Roll for sharp again, please.
7.
There's a water hose attached to the building. But if you
Okay.
must have this syrup, you can add water into the canister if you must have this syrup.
How I'm doing it is I'm sitting next to that hose and I'm like taking the canister and going like drizzle a little into the mouth and then head underneath the water fountain swishing around because I ain't so smart.
All out. So, Monty, you rolled a 5. Okay. You don't know at all how to help this kid find road trip snacks. You don't know what invisible people eat. You don't know if they can eat human food or if they can eat zombie food or alien food. You frankly don't actually know what an invisible person is. You just know that there's this little girl holding your hand, very skittish, after toppling 2 people in your store and possibly a third, but you didn't see them fall, and they just are one road trip snacks.
Okay, so what do you eat?
Food.
I guess I'll take her over to the human food.
You point your camera in the direction of the little girl to kind of like see what the kid's doing and stuff. And I mean, you're walking over there to the human food, and the kid doesn't really look too enthusiastic about anything. Doesn't look disgusted, but not terribly enthusiastic. Do you have Sasquatch jerky?
I'm not very sure. Let me just ask her. Do we have any Sasquatch jerky?
You know what? If we did, it would be over on the end of aisle 3. So you should definitely check over there.
You're gonna go ahead and, I assume, take Gracie's advice of aisle 3?
Yes.
So you walk over to aisle 3,
Read the
which
map.
is the aisle that Carissa and Gracie were standing in, where there's a tiny shelf and then there's that one big shelf. And on the tiny shelf, Gracie was correct. There are a whole slew of different jerkies. You got fish jerky, you got rotted flesh jerky, monkey jerky, deer jerky. Obviously, you got regular beef jerky, duck jerky, some really weird, strange language jerky that you could not pronounce even if you tried, and a variety of Sasquatch jerkies. So the little girl, from the view of your camera, looks at the jerky and she points delightedly at the one that says skunk Sasquatch jerky. She doesn't grab it, but she just points like ecstatically at it.
Okay, I'm going to take the jerky off of the shelf and start walking over to the register.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for sharp.
9.
So you're making your way over to the register and you feel a tug at your arm. And when you face the camera back at the kid, she's not moving towards the register. In fact, she's just pointing at the refrigerators.
I'll go over there with her.
Okay. When you go over to the drinks, she lets go of your hand, and for a brief moment, you lose sight of her on your camera because you're just trying to figure out where she went. But next thing you know, the child's got your hand, and she's holding a bottle of soda that is not by any means human soda. It's not Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper. This is something else. You've never tried it before. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. But it has, from what you know, the consistency of motor oil when you tilt the bottle. This kid just hands the drink to you. Your hands are kind of full here as you're holding the jerky in the same hand you're holding your phone.
Is there anything else you want?
You see on the camera the child shakes her head no.
Okay, we go over to the register.
So you go ahead and make your way to the till. The child, invisible Timmy, with both hands, the soda bottle, which is a liter bottle, by the way, on the counter. Obviously, Kelsa, you don't see this. You just see a bottle just suddenly kind of like make its way onto the counter, and then you see your boss, essentially, just holding a camera in your face and puts down jerky. What do you do?
I'm gonna ask, how that bottle of soda got up on the counter and why he has the camera.
Can you just ring them up?
Okay, I will ring them up, I suppose, then.
So, Kelso, you go ahead and you ring up the liter bottle of what looks like motor oil, but it's just this strange non-human soda. You actually recognize the soda, and I mean, you're relatively partial to it. Along with the Sasquatch jerky. It's pretty good snacking treats. You didn't think your manager would like it, that's for sure.
So, are you sure you want to buy these? Like, I like them, but I don't think you'll like them.
I'm not the one buying them.
Okay, but there's nobody there.
Could you just ring it up?
Okay, you're the boss. I'll ring it up.
So you ring up everything and you provide the total, which is actually $12.30. When you do so, you see a wad of cash, a 10, 2 ones, and 50 cents in quarters come up and over and drop onto the countertop.
I'm just gonna take the money and I'm just gonna cash it out.
So you're
My
gonna
boss
provide
is
the
here and
change.
he's angry with me. I'm gonna give him change. I'm just gonna set them politely on the counter.
Slide them on over like a business.
Yep, just slide them on over towards my boss.
And you can see in amazement your boss, who still is holding a camera in your face, does nothing. But the two dimes, they get picked up one by one like you would with your thumb and index finger picking up coins off a table. And they're floating together before going back down over the side of the counter. And you bag up the items, and when you bag up the items, you put them over, slide them over to the counter. The same, actually not the same, but Mono grabs it by the handle, lowers it down, and from there, this whatever grabs the bag with both hands per Mana's view, happily walks outside, and all you see, Kelso, is a floating bag.
Okay, explain.
Okay, I'm going to take out my phone and show the recording to Emmy.
So you're gonna show the recording to Emmy.
Yes.
Emmy watches quite a bit of the footage and is able, as soon as it gets to the cash register's desk, is 100% able to put two and two together and be like, oh shit, there is a small child there. This wasn't just just coincidentally a child being seen and then my boss losing his mind and acting like a Karen out of nowhere. It's only my first day.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just didn't believe you that anyone was there.
We do get a lot of unique customers here at Stop and Guess.
I mean, I get that. I'm kind of dead, so.
True! By the way, I'm Moreau. Nice to meet you.
I'm Emily, but I go by Emmy. Nice to meet you.
Okay, bye. I'm going to go back to the office now.
Okay, bye.
You're
Enjoy.
gonna try and talk to your other associates? Oh boy. So, Mar,
true
where
manager.
where did you say you were? Did you say you went back outside or?
I was just there, I didn't move.
Okay, you're just standing there
Well,
watching everything happen, like a
yeah.
bunch of crazy. Okay. Mar, what is your next move here?
I could probably go out again. Yeah,
Is there
I'm gonna go
anything in particular you're looking for while you're out?
I think I'm just gonna tidy up the place. Yeah.
So you're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. So you're gonna you're gonna need to go and grab yourself some materials such as trash bags and stuff. And handily, you can find these materials in the office. So it would be on the back shelf. There on the bottom of the back shelf is where the trash bags would be. So you're gonna make your way on back there.
Yes.
Mono is also in there. If you want to have a conversation with Mono, you can.
Hello, sir.
You can just call me Moreau. And I believe your name is Teresa?
Yes.
And what do you want from in here?
I'm just going to tidy up the place, like take the trash to the back and everything else.
Xena, what are you up to?
So I have made my way back to the back, and honestly, like, I'm just trying to spend most of my shift back here. I might fuck around and do a little bit of inventory while I'm back here, and other than that, I'm just kind of played on my phone and like being nosy into whatever I can be nosy in.
Is there anything you're kind of wanting to like investigate in particular?
Not really. I'm just kind of like looking at everything as I'm just killing time, just walking around inspecting stuff.
There is a cork board with a bunch of like inventory, but it's relatively barren in there aside from work-related material.
Okay. I think I'll probably just start grabbing some boxes and start doing some inventory, but also like maybe sneaking a snack into my pocket every once in a while.
Go ahead and roll for sharp.
9.
So you notice that both doors are closed. You're pretty cautious this time around, closing the door behind you, so in that way your manager couldn't accidentally peer in and see you. However, when you went over to the other door and you started to kind of check and see if the exterior back door is closed, you realized it's by a hair open. And when you went to pull on the door, you realized the doorknob jiggled, indicating it's not locked.
Oh, I'm gonna get a little surprised at the fact that our back door is just unlocked, and I'm gonna close it all the way and lock it.
All right, so you close the door, lock the door, and you make your way back into the stock room, dig around your boxes. Are you looking for anything in particular, or just snacks?
Yeah, just mostly because that's snacks or drinks, or I guess if there's any like little gadgets that are interesting. To be fair, it's just whatever are the gas station boxes that I'm opening.
For starters, you kind of realize that older boxes are on the bottom, and newer boxes are on the top, still completely taped up. If you open one of those taped up boxes and they weren't supposed to go on the shelves today, someone from day shift will likely notice. So obviously, you're going to look at the open boxes. When you do look into these open boxes, you're gonna roll for sharp.
8.
There are a bunch of like really nasty sounding deep fried monkey brain chips. A slimy, goopy, slug looking candy that is definitely not for humans at all. And I don't think you would even be able to read the language. However, at the very, very, very bottom of the box, you find something surprising. You find what feels like a flat, rectangular thing. You can't quite see it because it's literally at the bottom of the box, almost underneath one of the cardboard flaps of that bottom of the box. And it does not feel like a snack. I mean, it could be an invoice that was left in the box, but it feels a little bit more sturdy than an invoice, like a piece of paper.
I'm gonna try to pull it out.
So you pull it out. It's not stuck in there or anything like that. It's roughly the size of a credit card, and it has a name on it, actually. This name is pretty unfamiliar to you, but then again, you haven't met anybody really today. The name on the card is a student card for a high school. A while away, maybe an hour, half an hour drive, if that. And the name is Zion Raincloud. And the identification photo is of this zombie. Big toothy grin. They're very happy. They've got this shaggy hair. It's just all sorts of everywhere. It's dark. Their eyes are golden. They're just happy. And it says that they're in the 12th grade. It does give the class date on it, but that's about 5 or 6 years ago.
I'm gonna kind of like turn it over and then I'm just gonna stick it in my pocket because it's interesting. And then I guess I'll put that box up and maybe I'll make my way toward like the employee break room just to go have a look-see in there.
So on your way there, you do notice that the office door is open and Lisa and your assistant manager hanging out in there.
Just gonna try to quickly walk past them and look like I'm on a mission.
So you make your way into the break room. Is there anything you're looking for?
I kind of want to pick out a locker while I'm in here, but I'm also just going to take a general stock of the room.
So when you look inside, Gracie, you notice inside of the break room here, there is a shower with a shower drain. There is no curtain. It is out in the open. So I guess if you got a chemical spill going on, you're able to at least wash yourself. That shower is perched on the bar wall from the door between the lockers and the benches. There are 6 lockers on the far wall, and then in front of the door there are 2 lockers, and then of course a set of benches that are sat in the middle of the floor. Not much to note. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Not really. I'm gonna claim locker 5.
When you look at locker 5, you realize there's a name written on that locker. So the name is actually Ray Jefferson.
I'm just gonna be like, well, I don't think anybody currently works here by that name, so I'm just gonna take it, open it up, and see if it's empty.
So when you open the locker, it's kind of bare. There's an old jacket in it, a couple of notebooks. There's a clipboard with some paper on it. Nothing looks too important. To you anyways. I mean, this is all dated, almost 6 years old. There's also a badge hanging on the hook over the jacket.
I'm gonna slip that badge in my pocket because I'm a klepto, and then I'm gonna rifle through his jacket pockets to see if I can find anything there.
There's not much in there. There's like one thing in it, and it's just a crumpled up piece of paper.
I'm gonna read it.
Man, this job sucks. Ever since they started the All Food Accessibility Act, we now have more food that greys and zombies can eat than humans. Fried monkey brains and some nasty looking slug treats. If you ask me, these other races don't know what the fuck real food looks like. To make matters worse, they stopped importing the slushy flavours. They say it's because of radiation, but I know the truth. I saw it happen one time. When our cashier was wringing out one of them greys, all it took was one sip of that thing went crazy, gorging on the entire cup before tearing off a flavour canister, eating it whole. The damn thing died so quickly. after we were just shocked. Didn't know those things could go crazy like that. Let alone die in such a stupid way.
Well, I think I'm gonna tuck that in my pocket and I'm gonna make my way up front to go talk to the cashier about it because I don't know what the fuck I just found. But first, I'm gonna take the rest of the stuff and I'm gonna dump it in the lost and found so that way I can put my shit in the locker.
So there isn't a lost and found necessarily, but you can probably find an empty box by the dumpster or in the stockroom maybe, and put stuff in the lost and found box, newly named.
For now, I think I'm just gonna throw it in the corner.
Alright, so you go ahead and make your way up front. I know that Mar and Mana were up to something earlier, and I know Mar was looking to get some trash bags as well.
Would you like some help with cleaning up?
I mean, if you want to.
Okay.
I feel like
You guys are gonna go outside and clean, or you're helping Teresa with getting trash bags?
Trash bags.
So the trash bags are on the bottom shelf, along with a box of other sanitary type of stuff, you know, like your cleaning wipes, your blood remover, the emergency health kit that you require, you know, just general cleanliness and safety stuff.
Blood remover?
very normal. You take the trash bags then I'll clean the outside.
So you're gonna go ahead and, are you gonna make your way through the front, or are you gonna take the shortcut to the back door?
Shortcut.
Alright.
I'm not walking all the way.
Mono, what are you gonna be doing when Mara leaves?
I'm going with her to help clean outside.
You guys make your way into the stockroom, and as you guys are making your way there, you actually notice that Gracie is standing at the front counter, talking to Emmy.
We'll just walk right past them.
So you guys gone ahead, you make your way to the back door. Mono fumbles about looking for the right key, finally finds it, unlocks the door, opens it, and then both of you roll for sharp.
9.
8.
You guys see a very strange sight. And in fact, you guys thought you were over with this sight. You guys
boy.
noticed the drifter that had found his way into the building somehow managed to finagle himself a box of crushed chips to avoid a lawsuit, of course. Sitting crumpled up against the building, kind of leaning back real good and comfy. He's made himself real comfortable here. There's a water hose in one hand and a jug that would generally hold the flavorant or the syrup of the sodas with this like hose sticking out of it. And you can see him going between the two, just slurping on the syrup, slurping on the water hose. That's still actively running, by the way. And doing this over and over and over again.
Hello?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad I didn't have to sue you. This is a delicious delicacy you don't often see. Tell you what, sir, you want some dumpster sodas?
No thank you, I'm fine. Teresa, do you want any?
No, I'm good, thank you.
You're missing out then. This is good stuff right here.
I'm sure.
Hey, you got some money I could have.
Roll for charm.
Can I use a stunt here?
You can use a stunt if you feel it's gonna help you.
Okay, I'm gonna use this one time for +2 on charm to captivate people with the story. All right, 9 + 2 is 11. I was once like you. I was the assistant manager of a store over on another planet, and you'd be surprised just how many missed paychecks it could take to bring you from this place to where I am drinking dumpster sodas. You see, I had a family. I had a wife. Her name was Melissa. I even had a dog. I had 7 dogs, one for each day of the week. You know what happened to those dogs whenever I lost my job? I wound up having to eat them. And it was sad. It was a coincidence that one's name was Stew. He made a pretty good stew. But outside of that, like, that's why I'm needing some money. You see, I just need a few beverages so I don't have to drink these dumpster sodas. I would very much like something with a little bit of carbonation. So if I could just borrow, say, is $22. I'd be sitting pretty if you guys could pony that up together.
Well, I'm very sorry. I'm so sad to hear about your dog, but I can't give you any money since I'm flat broke and I just started here.
I also just started.
The register's got some money though, right?
I don't have any permission for the register.
Mono, if you aren't feeling so okay with, getting the cash out of the register to give $25 to a homeless guy, you can roll for cool to see if you can recoup after such a wild tale.
That is a 12.
You recoup pretty quickly, figured out what was just said, even though it was definitely meant to throw you off guard and make you feel a lot of sympathy for what could probably be said as a poor excuse of a mutant.
Look here, brother. That's all I'm saying is, even if you can't get me a little bit of food, one of them nice malt alien beverages would probably do me all right. And a marker and a little bit of your leftover cardboard wouldn't cost you a dime.
Okay, yeah, I'll get you that cardboard and that beverage.
Can I get that marker too? Need something to use on that cardboard.
Do we have any pens available?
In the office, you would have your general pens, paper, markers. Obviously, only the stockroom's gonna have cardboard, if there's even a box available.
Yeah, I can get you that cardboard and that marker, and I'll see what I can do about that drink for you, and then I'll head back into the store to search for all those stuff.
So I'm not gonna make you roll for that. That's a pretty open and honest. You're gonna find yourself some boxes and stuff, and when you go back in, you're obviously starting off in the stockroom, so you can find pretty easily a half-empty box that you can just take things out of and put it in a different box that's not completely full to the brim. On top of that, you can also go back into your office and get yourself one of the almost out markers that are on your desk. Some alien.
Finest alien malt liquor you got.
I'll look for the cheapest malt ale we've got.
So, Mono, you have in hand the marker. I'm sure you're just gonna leave the box in the storeroom for right now, and you can pocket the marker. So you go back into the general store area. The alcohol is sold in that center shelving right in front of the register, just so in that way that attendant is able to keep a good eye on it. You can find a bunch of human alcohol, like beer and things like that. You can also find flagellated blood alcohol. And, of course, a really soupy looking blue alien liquor. And you're going to assume it's an alien liquor because it's in a very unearthly language that you cannot read. That is priced at $15.
I don't have any money.
You can take that $15 out of your upcoming paycheck, just like you would the $50 for your life insurance. So as you're perusing for alcohol, Kelso and Xena, if you guys would continue your conversation.
So I was just back in the back, looking through some of the lockers because I'm new and I wanted to claim a locker, and I found some of this old guy's shit. You want to look at this journal entry?
Sure.
Old guy shit.
So I'm gonna hand her that so she can read through the same journal entry that I read earlier.
Mono is over here kind of just finagling about, and you roll for sharp.
11.
Your ears immediately perk up when you heard, I found some old shit. Do you want to read this journal entry?
Are you two talking about Ray Jefferson?
Yeah, I found his badge in the journal entry back there for him. He left some shit here. He had a bunch of papers and a jacket, but it didn't really have anything in it. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what's going on with this place. I'm not really from around here.
Okay, well I'm quite curious about this too. There is actually some notes in the back if you want to look at them. I've just got to get this marker and pen to the guy behind the dumpsters.
There's a guy living in our dumpsters?
Yeah, he's been there for a long time apparently.
Okay, well, I guess be safe. I'll go to your office and read that note.
So you're perusing the alcohol. Xena, what did you say? What did you say you were doing again?
I'm gonna go back to his office so that way my character can read that note.
So you're gonna make your way over there. Kelsa, are you done reading that note that Xena handed over to you?
Yep.
Any way you want to react to that note, or
Well, everybody walked away, so I'm just kind of
Well-
sitting there shocked.
your assistant, so the manager on duty right now is currently kind of in front of you. He's just faced away from you, perusing the liquor for some strange reason.
I'm gonna get his attention and ask if he has seen the journal note that I have.
No, I've only read the one that's in the office.
Okay, yeah, because it's got some pretty weird stuff going on in here. It talks about like people dying in here.
I mean, it was more than 6 years ago, so it should be fine.
Fine, it happened a while ago.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go give this to the person out back.
So, are you going to steal it, or are you going to be honorable and put a
Honorable.
minus? Okay, you're going to put a minus 15 to your paycheck. Once your paycheck comes in, you'll do the math and even that out. So, Mono makes his way back outside. Kelso, how do you react to this? Are you just going to hang out up front?
Yep, just gonna keep doing what I've been doing. Stay at my register.
Okay, you are adamant to complete this task. Xena, are you done reading the note that was back in Mono's office?
Yeah, so I've read it and I'm gonna bring it back out to show Emmy as well because this one's even crazier. It talks about radiation and all the other shit that was in that.
You make your way back up front. You notice that the manager on duty is gone. Probably much to your relief, honestly. Slide that second journal entry across the counter, and I don't know, does that pique your interest at all?
It talks about Ben. Would that be Benny?
It could be, but you don't know Benny's name.
Oh, I don't know Benny's name. Yep, I'm interested, but I don't know what to think of it.
Well, I think it's kind of weird that there was a freaking werewolf attack here. Also, I just wonder like who this other person is and like what was going on here. And I don't know. It seems like this place was kind of crazy 6 years ago. It's pretty tame tonight, so I just can't imagine some of the shit that we found notes about. It sounds like a fever dream.
It almost makes you wonder if we're safe, though. I mean, werewolf attacks, radiation, aliens dying, like, it all happened right here.
I mean, are you gonna quit?
I mean, I'm dead, so I don't have much going on.
There.
Teresa and Miro. They're outside talking to our local drifter right now. Miro holding in hand a box and a almost out of ink Sharpie marker, along with a really cheap bottle of alien liquor.
Hey, I got what you asked for.
Little bit of alien hooch, I see. That definitely sounds like it might hit the spot. Tell you what, though, either you are the nicest person in the world and you bought this for me, or you're a thief. And either way, I want to make life a little easier on you. Tell you what I'll do. You put that bottle back. You take your $15 back, because I know the cost of a cheap old liquor when I see one. And we can work out a little bit of an arrangement. You see, I tend to get a bit of an odor sometimes from digging through this here garbage. If you were to say, look the other way, if I used your showers every once in a while, in turn, I'd be happy to, one, let you take that bottle back, but two, if you need someone to go hog wild on a thief, or you need someone to sweep, I got you. All I asked in return is just a place to shower and whatever your expired or damaged goods would be.
I mean, yeah, sure, that's a deal. Why not?
I think that's a good arrangement.
So, quick question, how long have you been here?
Gee, son, I'll tell you what, I can't remember a time I wasn't here. I will also tell you I can't remember anything longer than a week, but, you know, that's just the memory loss.
Okay, well, fine, you have yourself a deal.
From there, I have a bit of a plan, if I could explain, Max.
Okay, go on.
So I intend on using this cruddy little marker and this cardboard They're kind of cut up and make a sign, and I still have a full box, or most of a full box worth of chips that are all crushed up. I'm gonna start selling discount damaged freight out of the side of the building, just so I can make some sort of income.
That's valid, but I would advise not to do that in view of the associates.
I figured if anything, if I need to go make some money, I can go sit across the street.
Teresa and Miro, what are you guys up to now that you've established this deal?
Oh yeah, what's your name by the way? I'm Moreau.
Benny Flick's the name. Don't wear it out.
Okay, Teresa, what are you up to then? So, Miro went back inside. You have a black trash bag to pick up trash around the area. What are you gonna keep doing that, or are you just like, I'm done, walk back in?
I mean, I didn't even pick up trash, so maybe I should do that.
You gonna pick up the trash around where Benny's sitting, or are you just gonna be like, this is your area, and skirt around?
Scurry around.
Okay. You're gonna head and you're gonna pick up your trash and everything. There's stuff blowing in the wind, so you'll get stuff. Mono, Gracie, and Emmy, you guys are all up front now because obviously Moreau needed to put away the liquor. What are you guys up to here?
So we were just discussing the note from the office when we last left off, about fucking werewolf attack and Ben. I don't know if I feel safe here, but also I don't know if I care.
Emmy, what are you up to up there? So you said you're hanging out behind the register. Everyone kind of skedaddled on by. You saw the boss take a bottle of liquor. Now he's back with the same bottle of liquor. And now Gracie's up here being like, ha ha ha, we have things happening! Even though nothing's happening.
I'm going to ask the boss what he's doing with the bottle of liquor, why he brought it back when he was taking it out back.
Yes, and he didn't want it anymore, and in exchange he helps with security, cleaning, and other stuff. He also gets to use the shower in the break room.
Okay, that's fair. Did you ask him anything about the note, the journal entries?
Yeah, he said he couldn't remember anything past a week. It's kind of useless in that regard. Also, his name is Benny.
So he's the
Benny
Benny from the notes, but like, if he doesn't remember anything, I guess he's not gonna be useful.
It might not be the same Ben.
I guess, but I mean, you said yourself that he's been hanging out at the dumpster for forever, so odds are.
Everybody roll for cool.
4.
Xena, what'd you roll?
10.
Brandon?
8.
Mar?
9.
Kelso?
14.
The lights suddenly shut off across the property, to include all of the lights outside. Absolutely nothing is illuminated. In fact, everybody inside can hear the fridges just die. You know, that sound of the whoo. Everything is silent, everything is still, except for one thing. Everybody within the vicinity can hear a horrifying, shrilling scream. And that scream is Moreau. Very terrified of the prospect of the lights just suddenly shutting off with absolutely no electricity going on there. Starting from outside, because Mono is very freaked out right now, so everybody else inside is probably trying to wrangle Mono to make, their manager chill out for a second here. Mar, you're the furthest away from the building. You can obviously hear that shutdown sound of the whoo of everything just slowing down to a complete stop. And you can see the lights outside the shop just off. What do you do?
See if anything happened from outside.
Roll for sharp. Brandon, while she's doing that, what are you up to?
Yeah, all the lights went off, so I flick out that mini flashlight that's in my pocket, and I go to the front. I had to pull the doors open because the power's out, and I'm like, well, what in the hell happened here?
Mar, what'd you roll?
10.
You can see the light of something just kind of like going about its business around the exterior of the building. You can see that motion, the swaying motion that it would have if someone was walking. You can assume it's a flashlight. You don't know exactly who it is, but you can assume it's a flashlight. Beyond that, it is so pitch black. The only thing you can see clearly aside from that light from a flashlight or phone is the stars above. That's all you can see.
Can I follow the flashlight?
Yes, you can totally make your way over to the flashlight. When you catch up with the light, you realize it's Benny, just walking casually up to the door before prying it open like something out of Jumanji and being like, "What's up, y'all?"
Where are you going, maybe?
Well, I just came in here to see what was going on. I saw all the lights go off, and I also needed to see if you need a little bit of help eating that ice cream. I know it's gonna melt.
I don't know about that, but I'm gonna follow you around since you have a flashlight.
If it works, it works. I'll tell you that.
So upon entering, the flashlight illuminates 4 characters. You can see very clearly a very frantic and freaked out Miro. And you can also see a rather put together Gracie and Emmy just trying to stabilize Miro, make Miro stop panicking over the lights being out. And the 4th figure is just there behind them. Benny and Teresa, please roll for cool. 11.
I have a 10.
Mar rolled an 11. Benny, what did you roll?
10.
You guys
Yeah.
keep your composure. You see this 4th figure? Benny can probably assume it's another associate. However, Teresa isn't 100% certain. Maybe it's a customer. Probably a customer. So everything is okay enough. However, the other 3 don't notice this person at all.
Listen, boss, you're gonna have to calm down. You can't keep screaming. Like, it's just the dark. And what are you guys doing in here? Why is the homeless guy back?
Mono roll for cool again. You guys continue. I'm just having mono roll for cool. Okay.
Have you
You
know
kinda
I'm just
settle
here
down.
security?
I don't know about that, but we have an arrangement that he is going to help us and he has a flashlight, so
I mean, I guess I will accept the flashlight. Does anybody know how to deal with a blackout in this freaking gas station? Are we all on day 1? Like, does anybody know where the breaker box is?
I do not know. Oh, sorry.
Well, I know where the breaker box is. It's in the building.
Oh, thank you, Benny.
Ah,
We're so glad you're here, Benny.
I don't know where in the building it is. I just know it's in the building.
Storage room or the break room are probably going to be our best bets.
Let's check that break room.
While they're having this conversation, we're like, oh yeah, I got a flashlight on my phone, and I'll take my phone out and put my flashlight on.
Mono, roll for cool.
8.
When you turn your flashlight on, obviously you're facing in the direction of. Actually, Gracie, take also roll for cool.
5.
When Moreau turns the flashlight on, you and Gracie both are facing in the direction of Emmy. You guys are not behind the counter, Emmy is. However, you guys can also see not only in front of you, but slightly in the hallway, adjacent to the counter. And what is illuminated is this figure just standing there ominously. Gracie loses her shit. Mana, you got this moment of like, okay, this is fine. This is fine.
Who is that? Does somebody have a flashlight? Benny, you want to go check it out?
Hey, are you okay? Do you need any help from us?
They say absolutely nothing. They just stand there, one hand on the wall and the other one to their side. They look like they're in absolutely rough shape.
Okay, you stay here. I'm going to go get you a med kit. Just wait right there. I'll go to the office and I'll be right back.
So, Mana, you're gonna go into the main office. So you're gonna go around this person into the main office and look for the med kit.
Yep, I'll do just that.
Roll for sharp.
9.
Roll for cool.
7.
When you get into your office and you kneel down, you'll have in one hand your phone, which has the flashlight on it, and then in the other, you're trying to dig this emergency kit out of the box that's there, and you feel something touch the back of your hair. It's not like something grabbed your hair or like blatantly like touched the back of your hair. It just brushed like the tips of your hair, the end of your hair. And it sends a shiver down your spine, but nothing more.
I'm going to turn around and see if I could see what touched my hair.
Nothing's there.
Then I grab the med kit.
So you get your fingers around the med kit's handle. It's in this case that's white with the red cross. It's got a couple of scribbles on it and some scrapes because, you know, it's old. It's been around for a while now. You grab it, you come back into the main area. Thank you guys for playing this session of Night Shift. I hope you guys enjoyed and are willing to do a second session. Now, this was session 0, so the next session will be session 1.